Thank you very much, yeah. Thank you very much. Getting down to this now.
Thank you very much.
Hello everybody, Nick Wright is back. It's Becky. And we're now beginning that journey back to base. We're bringing the Ducati S2R 1000 Super Naked home. Let's see how the journey went. Yeah.
It's showtime.
Can you guess what it might be? Look at that massive cylinder! Oh my god, it's huge! It's huge! And it's a Ducati! Whoa! S2R 1000. Hello, I'm from the Grind. So this is the return trip, and there's been a huge, massive accident of 4 cars that have all impacted each other in some way on the M5. Going from 1, 2, M5, and look at that, just endless cars and trucks and side traffic coming to a standstill. And that traffic's going to be there for hours before it starts to clear. You wonder, is it somebody that just didn't check the blind spot? Probably likely was that. This is the problem with a lot of drivers at the moment. If you watch them on the motorway traffic, they just get so close to each other. They're supposed to be, Luke Wright was taught the 2-second rule when he learned to drive. That Mercedes isn't following the 2-second rule. How many drivers here are not following the 2-second rule? Because they're not. And that's how you get into an accident, and with all the overspray as well. The mission successful. If we had gotten caught up in that accident, probably would have never succeeded with that S2. Oh no, you didn't. No, you would have learned by the first video. So, what is it we're bringing home? Oh, it is a Ducati. Figured that, didn't you? S2R. Not just any S2R, there were 2 versions. This was from between 2005 to 2008 and was like a production year that Ducati didn't keep going for very long. This is when Ducati were at the cusp of they were about to be out of business. The brand was about to die. Ducati was about to no longer exist. They didn't have any money left. The company was in a lot of debt. And the Germans came along and said, do you know what, we're going to save you and make you wonderful. But this was just before that. This was only produced for 3 years by Ducati. And Ducati decided that they not only had the liquid cooled S4R Super Naked, but then they wanted to build a air-cooled version of the Monster. So you've got already a version of the Monster, and now Ducati wants to build another line of Monsters, which is confusing for a lot of normal bikers. Well, Petrolhead is, but for a lot of normal bikers, that's pretty confusing. Why are there 2 different lines of Monster? Really confusing. You don't see that anymore, because the Germans have taught Ducati, when you build a motorcycle of a particular class, stick to that, where you produce just one of that class and not produce multiple motorcycles of that same class So don't build two super nakeds. Don't build two sports cars. Just build one. And everyone can understand that. So Ducati decided, let's build an air-cooled monster. They already had it before. And decided, let's drape it in single-sided swing arm, high-rise exhaust system, and it's really lovely treats. It's jewellery. It's like a superbike. It's exotica jewellery. And Ducati gave all the lovely touches, all the nice upgrades, and all the nice things. And just draped it. And they called it the S2R. Maybe S is for sport. 2 because there's 2 valve engines. R race or road. I'd say race. But Ducati may have thought slightly from it. They made 2 versions. They made an 800cc, which is quite interesting. Then they made a special one. They made only for a few years, limited production, 1000 version. More torque, more power, different geometry, higher lead angle, taller, and so is the S2R 1000. It was weird, the 800s got some sort of special lightweight dry clutch. 1000cc didn't. It got a different style of dry clutch. Maybe Ducati just did that because they didn't have the money to also give the S2R 1000 Super Naked the lightweight dry clutch version, but there are upgrade kits. Whoa. If you're into that, there are upgrade kits. So yeah, so they did that. It's kind of the 800 was a lightweight version. It's a cheaper version as well, but it was the lightweight. It was for the bikers who just wanted a lightweight, draped, very lovely monster. And then the 1000 was the super naked of the day. So the S2R 1000 was just a very special super naked made by Ducati. It's among the last air-cooled super nakeds. It's we've been searching for so long, for months and months, trying to find the right one, and luckily we've met her, got to meet her. Wow, she's pretty, very pretty super naked. And actually, considering the amount of miles that it's done and the age, it's pretty tidy, which is brilliant. So yeah, we'll do a dedicated video at the office talking about all about the SR 2000 Super Naked. Luke Wright has been thinking about that motorcycle for a long time. Remember we did that video in the office where we talked about what motorcycles are out there that gets Luke Wright excited, that gets him smiling, that gets him excited and interested in motorcycles, but also to help build up his body, his muscles, his strength, because when you haven't ridden motorcycles in such a long time, your muscles get weaker. Your not just the muscles in your arms, but your chest, the front of your body. It's pretty worrying actually. There's been a mission to get up here. We've gone past Bristol. Traffic is starting to slow down now, probably because of the time. BMW 330E hybrid, 2-litre turbo with a set of battery packs. Something fairly fast. Mustang. There's the Somerset countryside. S2R. We talked about on the videos what motorcycles are going to help you guys get back into it. So there was the KTM Duke 690R. They hold their value quite a bit. You'd need to save up £5,000 to find a Duke 690R with a full aquapobic system, if you're lucky. But usually you have to actually save up more to find a KTM 690 Ducati with full aquapobic system. And although it's the biggest single cylinder, which is quite interesting because you don't often meet that. It's quite an interesting motorcycle. But there have been talk about being a big single cylinder, being the biggest single cylinder, they produce a lot of heat. And for some reason, KTM, the cooling fan, if you're stuck in traffic, the cooling fan doesn't kick in until the engine is getting really hot, like uncomfortably hot, and then only then does the fan start kicking in. But because it doesn't kick in fast enough, the torque to the big single cylinder engine overheats. Which is weird because you wouldn't think that for a 2014, especially a 2016 KTM 690R. There's talk of that happening. So there's that. They are rare, you don't often see them. KTM have done their best, but it being a massive single cylinder engine, there always is going to be vibration, a lot of jerkiness. Big single cylinder, because it's only one cylinder going up and down, and it's got this massive cylinder going up and down. The motorcycle feels it, the frame feels it, and you feel it. There's that, but it's not as interesting as the S2R from Ducati. It's not as interesting as the history, the fact that the S2R was a limited production run. It was only made for 3 years, single-sided swing arm, super naked, air-cooled, L-twin, all these things, and from a niche, from small, back then, Ducati were a small company. It's a lot. It's the S2R is more interesting. It's more interesting to look at. It's more interesting to think about it. The engine as well is interesting in itself. Brembo's up front, high rise, which is unique. You don't actually see that even on the modern Monster 1200 Super Nakeds. It was just something that Ducati did at that time. And the closest thing you would see to that is a R19 Racer from BMW, classic race bike. You can actually buy high-rise systems for that classic superbike. But apart from that, it'd be very, very hard to find an actual super naked or a race bike that has a high-rise system. Not just that, Ducati did it right. That Ducati twin shotgun, because Ducati twin, 2 cylinders, shotgun. It's very interesting. we're going to, as we just bring that S2R back to glory, we'll always keep our eyes out for the Meeyaradee high-rise system. Ultra rare, very hard to come by, but you just don't know. If we just look every day, you just don't know if what system will turn up. And the fact that what we found is super rare. Oh, look at that thing. Oh, motorcyclist in the same rain we are, but he doesn't have a roof or windscreen. So the rain's gotten really, really bad. We are pretty hungry, and we travelled a lot of miles, so as a treat we're going to find some food, and then we'll continue this journey. S2R 1000. Now one of those, just limited production run. It's like the equivalent to the R19 Racer by BMW. BMW only made them for a limited amount of time. It was just a one-off production at that time. And there's very few of them left. Mostly owners of the S2R 1000s just don't want to let them go because they are amazing super nakeds, and the history, the value as well. But you will find more often the S2R 800s than 1000, and it's been interesting because we hit the button on the S2R 1000 and she started straight away. And the thing is as well, everyone, is the catalytic converter, the cat's removed. It's not there. It makes you wonder if the engine's actually had some sort of remap, some sort of tune at some point. Because if you take away the catalytic converter, you're changing the parameters of what's happening in the exhaust system, which the O2 sensor then detects, says this isn't right, and then throws an engine management light for a problem. Makes you wonder. So we'll have a look through the paperwork to see if there's any mention of any sort of remap or tune. So yeah, she just started straight away, which is interesting. From cold, which is interesting. Mini Cooper S doesn't know what it's doing, just keeps messing around. Sport bands are very imposing. And the most important thing, she has her original clutch cover case, which is great. Luke Rides did not want an S2R 1000 where it has some sort of see-through crap, where you can actually see the dry clutch. No. Because things that time you're exposing the clutch to the atmosphere, and because she uses, that's interesting as well, dry clutch, the S2R's dry clutch. If you're on your modern Ducati, you'd be used to a wet clutch. And that was the Germans just teaching Ducati, this is how you should do it for whatever reason that is. But the S2R1000s were using dry clutches. It was something of a thing with Ducati. They preferred dry clutches during that time. It's the same for the 999S Superbike, and then the previous generations of Superbike from Ducati, they all had dry clutches. It's interesting. Those of you that go, oh, I've seen that clutch is amazing, it's really cool. No, it adds to the unreliability of exposing it to the atmosphere. What if a stone got thrown inside it? What if someone put a finger in it? No. And because she's a dry clutch as well, you hear a dry clutch, and having that original factory Ducati cover just helps quieten down the clutch so you don't hear it as much. And you'll go, oh, why would you not want to hear it? Because you want to hear the engine. You don't want to hear it. You want to hear the engine. It's all about the engine. You want to hear 1,000cc. You don't want to hear the clutch rattling at the same time. It takes away from hearing that beautiful, unique sound from that massive engine. So really happy it's got the original factory Ducati cover. Amazing. And also she has her original with the white stripe in Ducati red, Ducati screen by cover. You've probably seen S2R1000s that very rarely have come up for sale, and they're missing that cover. And it's like, people will say, well, it's good to have it off. In what way? Well, that's taking away what little wind protection you have, and so that's annoying. And you're taking away from the looks, the fact that Ducati put a white stripe over that vice screen cover for a reason. You're taking away from the most. You're not adding to it. You're taking away from it. Leave the original vice screen alone. Leave it on the S2R1000s. She was designed in that way, in that style. So how many miles has she done? A lot. But we'll go into that later. Now we need food, and we need to chill and take a break, and we'll get ourselves to the office. See if we can make some money for a potential job, and get to know the S2R 1000. Not the 800. 1000. Super naked. From Ducati. Wow. Very cool. Well, hello everyone, Luke Royce. Had the lovely foods. Brake pad wear service. Amazing when vans and cars can actually tell you how far. Yeah. Look at that massive. We got massive chimneys and everything. Yeah, we've had a very good break, had some good food, had some fuel, and yeah, what a day it's been. It's going to be interesting, the Ducati S2R1000 Super Naked. There'll be some interesting workshop videos to do on that engine as well, on the Super Naked. We'll be learning how to service the S2R1000 Super Naked, things like oil, spark plugs, filter, We're going to be learning how to take the rear wheel and front wheel off at some point, winter time. Just any other things that we come across. The main thing is getting the S2R when there's time. Get the S2R 1000 on a paddock stand. We're really going to clean everything we can. Rear shot, at the side of the S2R 1000, the paintwork, the alloys, the engine, and that's the biggest thing that you find on the Ducati Monster naked bikes and the super nakeds as well, because the engine is so exposed. It's just exposed to everything. It's very often that the cylinders on the outswing get pretty dirty because of all the rubbish on the roads. The front tyre just flicks up all the dirt onto the front cylinder. That's always the one that gets the worst wear. That's fine. Ducati, you'll notice that in the factory Ducati never put an extender on the front fender, because why? It's a naked. This is things that you just accept. If a naked bike, there's no fairings, there's no protection around the engine, everything's exposed. It's all about the engine, it's all about handling, it's all about seeing the engine, seeing all the components that on a third motorcycle are hidden away or tidied away so you can see it. And there's something interesting about that, when you have a super naked where you can actually see the engine, you can see all the cabling, you can see the leads, you can see the fuel injectors. It's just different, isn't it? It's interesting. So this one has covered a lot of miles. So it actually goes to show that Ducatis between 2005 and 2008 were pretty well built if you think about it. This one, this S2R 1000 Super Naked, very hard to come by, very rare. Has covered over 25,000 miles. Well, a motorcycle, that's a lot. Japanese BMW motorcycle, not so much, but for an Italian where everything is light and aluminium, thin as possible and high performance, and it doesn't. This was before the Germans bought out Ducati, so you've got that, with the connector blocks on Audi or German, down the insulation that would have come with Audi electronics and wiring looms. We don't have that, so the Super Naked really is not. If you want to ride an S2R 1000 or even the 800 through winter, that's up to you. But don't do it. Whatever you do not do it. First of all, everything's exposed, so all you're going to do is you are just going to start corrosion where there wasn't corrosion, and you're going to absolutely hammer painted finish on the engine. The frame will start to rust, all sorts of really bad things will happen if you ride that Super Naked through winter. Just don't.
You're goddamn right.
Don't do it. It's a summer, spring, summer, autumn, before the road starts being sprayed on the roads. That's where the S2R 1000 Super Naked lives. That's where she is. Yeah, doing pretty well. Wow. Yes, no, that Corsa is giving it all it's got. That's its maximum power and torque. That's all it's got. 1.4 full cylinder. Can't tell what she's moved on. So yeah. what we got. Look at that rain. Oh my god. That's a lot of rain. Yeah, we'll make a dedicated video for so the main thing is we're going to do all the belts. Go for quality, don't cheap out on belts. Don't do it. That thing is the thing that's stopping your cylinders and smashing into the valve. So buy a quality set. So we're going to do that. We're also going to order a lovely service kit for that engine room. We got a glimpse of the oil and it was black. So it's doubt that beautiful Ducati's had a, amazing oil change. Probably can. And the spark plugs as well. And the air filter. Makes you wonder. Do we go for on this particular engine, Ducati want you to use Shell Advanced oil. There must be a reason why Ducati recommend Shell Advanced oil for the Monster S2R 1000. Supernated. So yeah, let's see where the road takes us. We'll listen to some music and catch you later. I'm on a big ride, so this will be the last bit. And look at that, we've got, that was an S2R Super Naked back there that just passed us. And then we've got some sort of Honda Tourer, Triumph, Tiger, Adventure. Quite a few motorcycles going up and down the M5. And the rain has finally stopped. Clouds are still pretty cloudy, but the rain stopped, so that's good. Yeah, even little things like when you buy a modern Ducati now, buy say Street Fighter V4 Super Naked or Panigale Superbike or Panigale V4. Even when you buy the like big engines, high performance models, Ducati then want you to spend more money buying carbon fibre. I mean, it was interesting, little things, little differences compared to today's Ducati to the Ducati of 2005 between 2008. So the S2R, whether that was the 800 or 1000 Super Naked, even the side picks, you think carbon fibre in those years, like early 2000s, was quite a new thing. It was quite. How many companies have you had to make carbon fibre? And yet somehow Ducati, even when they were running out of money and they were close to collapsing, they even made sure that the S2Rs had carbon fibre side panels. And that's between 2005 and 2008. And that's from the factory. That's like, you didn't go to Ducati and bought the carbon fibre. No, it came from the factory when you bought the S2R 800 or the S2R 1000 Super Naked. You got carbon fibre side panel. Little things like that. Pretty interesting. Now you wouldn't see Ducati do unless you're buying like the Superleggera V4 or the V4R. Just the 24 grand, £40,000 race bikes. So just interesting things like that. And it's interesting when you look at the swing arm as well, that the construction was different back then. So if you compared a Monster 1100 Evo Super Naked where the swing arm is one single piece. No, back in 2005 to 2008, Ducati had made this. It's still a single side of the swing arm. Again, that technology was a lot newer than it is now. Yeah, like Kawasaki have single sided swing arms. Yeah, they've had for many years, so they've perfected it. But in 2005 to 2008, you can actually see how the swing arm is built from like multiple pieces. Like there's a weld piece here and another piece that's welded here, and it's like it's not a singular tubular piece of aluminium. It's like but somehow Ducati made it work and did a good job. It works and it's very strong. And it's like, how technology moves on, how they can improve and make a swing arm stronger and better through learning, but also through how, imagine what you could do if you were, say, you had to design a single-side swing arm in 2004 with, just as we were getting Windows XP, and then you design a swing arm from 2009, we all of a sudden we got like Windows 7, got like computers with 8 gigabytes of RAM, with like more intelligent CAD software that you can do more with it. Quite interesting, really. The S2R 1000 Super Naked is a very interesting motorcycle. Just interesting to look at. A piece of history. So there's a piece of motorcycling history. And it showed that Ducati didn't build perfect bikes, but they built pretty good motorcycles. Very good. Sun shining. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been an amazing adventure. Thanks for watching, everybody, at Luke Rides. It was a hell of a day. What an adventure! It was amazing. We have brought home a Ducati Super Naked, which is pretty interesting, really. The S2R 1000 was only made between 2005 to 2008, and it was the Ducati's latest incarnation of the air-cooled Ducati Super Naked, and actually one of the latest ones. First Ducati Super Naked with fuel injection, not fuel injection with trach, full-on fuel injection, and it was actually quite up to date. It was quite modern for the time, and was at a point where Ducati were very close to no longer existing. So it was one of those motorcycles that helped keep Ducati afloat, helped them make sales until the Germans came along and saved Ducati and transformed them. So that motorcycle has a lot of history behind it, and it's a very interesting time with Ducati. So yeah, thanks for watching.
The way we...
The little rascal has spirit. Has water.
This is the end of the trail for me.
Thank you.
Thank you, kid.
let's drink the signature coffee because it's really good. Do you know it's really good?